Good evening and welcome. Tonight is Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025. It is 7:30 p.m. And thank you for attending and welcome to the Mililani-Waipi'o-Melemanu Neighborhood Board number 25. This is our initial convening of this board. So the primary purpose of tonight's meeting is to formulate our board with officers as well as our regular meeting business. I would like to thank everyone, especially the NCO, for the change of venue tonight. Unfortunately, while it is agendized that we do normally have our meetings at H building, just down the road here, or just down the walkway here in Mililani High School, unfortunately, there was still no air conditioning provided by the high school's contractor. And so while they're still working with their contractor on air conditioning services after hours, the high school was kind enough to accommodate us to relocate this meeting and only this meeting at the Mililani High School cafeteria. So in further communication with the Mililani High School and the NCO, our next meeting, whether it's August or September, depending on what this board moves for our recess schedule, our next meeting will be held at the H building. So I just wanted to make that announcement. And without further ado, I'd like to call this meeting to order by beginning with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you are able, please stand and we can recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, members, and thank you to members of the public. As a part of our public notice, this is a hybrid meeting. That means that we are both meeting here at the location of the Mililani High School cafeteria as well as online. I'd like to provide a friendly reminder for those who are attending both online and in person, including all board members, to please raise your hand so that I can recognize you and we can maintain decorum for this meeting. We are actually also we are running this meeting with a 2-minute rule as per our agenda. And so I kindly ask that you raise your hand so that I can recognize you to ask your question. I'd like to now recognize our neighborhood assistant, Rachel Cristobal, so that she can provide the roll call and we can establish quorum. Thank you.
Okay, when I call your name, please state if you're present or online. Bass?
Present.
Thank you. Carmody? Present. Flores? Present. Freed?
Present.
Present. Gustafin? Present. Inouye?
Present.
Present. Kanehe? I think I saw her
Online, present.
Thank you. I saw you online. Okay. Ka'apanaaki? Present. Kim? Present. Kennard?
Present.
Present. Thank you. Pupu Ka'a? I think I saw her. No? Partially?
Present online.
Thank you. Marilyn Lee?
Here.
Present. Nagamine?
Present.
Present. Alex Ozawa? Present. Catherine Ozawa? Present. Park?
Present online.
Online. Thank you. Rana?
Present.
Present. Ross?
Present.
Present. Zagura? Present. Smart? Present. Dorsina?
Present online.
Online. Thank you. Williams?
Present online.
Online. Thank you. Okay, so with that, we have 22 members present. Thank you.
Rachel, have all members taken the oath of office?
Everybody did the oath of office.
Wonderful. Congratulations and welcome to our members who are returning and have won their reelection. And I'd like to welcome our new members, Kate Ozawa and Ken Inouye, to this neighborhood board. Welcome. I'd like to further congratulate our own neighborhood board assistant, Rachel Cristobal, who is elected to serve in her community on the Waipahu neighborhood board. So if we could clap for her as well. Okay, let's get into it. First off, the election of officers. Members, are there any members who would like to serve the term for July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026 for the first position as chair?
I'd like to nominate Danielle Bass to serve as chair.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations? Please step up. This is a democracy. We want everybody to be willing.
I nominate Trevor for vice chair.
Oh, no, we have to do, Rachel, can you walk us through on
Oh, okay.
the voting? Sorry.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is, okay, since we nominated Daniel Bass already, is there any other nominations? So like, for example, Skylar nominated Trevor, so that would be the next step.
Okay, so we don't have to do one by one?
No.
Okay, in the past we have. Okay, great. Skylar has nominated Trevor. Is there a second? Seconded by Sabrina. Okay, I would like to nominate Sabrina as secretary. Seconded. And anyone would
Oh,
like,
sorry, I meant like nomination for the chair first. So if anybody wants to nominate for chairs positions.
okay, yeah, that's because you nominated Trevor for which? Vice.
Oh,
chair.
sorry, I wasn't listening. Okay, only chairs,
That's why
only
you
chairs
threw me
are-
off a little bit, Rachel. It's like, oh. Okay, so let's start all over, shall we?
Okay, I nominate Danielle Bass for chair.
Second. Are there any other nominations for chair? Come on. No? Okay.
Okay, now we can do this. Okay, when I call your name, you either say Bass or just stay quiet if you don't want to vote. Okay, okay, okay. Rana, Bass. Okay. Bass. Among. Oh, this is the wrong one. Sorry. Let me follow my attendance sheet. Okay. Pramati. Bass. Okay. Flores. Okay. Freed.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Gustafin. Bass. Inouye. Bass. Kanehe.
Bass.
Panaaki. Bass. Kim.
Bass.
Kennard. Bass. Puka'a. Let me see. Here, here. Tasha Lee.
Bass.
Thank you. And then Marilyn Lee. Nagamine.
Bass.
Okay. Alex Ozawa.
Bass.
Okay. Catherine Ozawa. Thank you. Park.
Bass.
Bass. And then Ross.
Bass.
Bass. Segura. Bass. Smart.
Pass.
Okay. Serfsina.
Bass.
Bass. And then Williams.
Bass.
Bass. Thank you. And then Daniel Bass, do you accept this?
I do accept. Thank you.
Okay, so you vote for yourself. Okay, so with that, we have 22 members and 0 nays, 0 abstains. Thank you.
I want to mahalo everyone on the board. Thank you so much for your support. We'll proceed to vice chair. I'd like to nominate Trevor.
Second.
Yep, I accept the nomination.
Are there any other nominations for vice chair? Hearing none.
Okay, we will take the vote now. Okay. So if we're doing a vote for vice chair, say Nagamine or just stay quiet if you don't want to vote. Okay, Bass,
Nagamine.
Pramati, Nagamine, Flores, Nagamine, Freed,
Trevor.
Nagamine, thank you. Gustafin, Nagamine, Inouye, okay, Kanehe,
Nagamini.
Panaaki, Nagamine, Kim. Sorry. You see Nagamine? Okay, thank you. Kennard, Nagamine, okay. Puka'a, Tasha Lee,
Nagamine.
okay. Marilyn Lee, Nagamine. And then Nagamine, Trevor.
Nagamine.
Thank you. Alex Ozawa. Thank you. Ozawa. Captain Ozawa. Nagamine. Park.
Nagamine.
Nagamine. Rana. Nagamine. Ross.
Nagamine.
Nagamine. Segura. Nagamine. Smart.
Nagamini.
Thank you. Sorsina.
Nagamine.
You. And Williams.
Nagamini.
Okay, so we had 22 members voting for Nagamine and 0 nays and abstains. So thank you. You're going to be vice chair again.
Congratulations, Trevor. Okay, are there any nominations for secretary?
Second.
Sabrina has been nominated by Ed Flores, seconded by Ross. Sabrina, do you accept? Are there any other nominations for secretary at this time, members? Okay, hearing none.
Very none. Okay. So you are voting for secretary. And if you would like to vote for Sabrina, say Gustafin. If not, just say nothing. Okay. Bass.
Gustafson.
Thank you. Hermati. Gustafin. Flores. Gustafin. Freed. Gustafin. And then Gustafin.
Yep.
Okay. Abstain. Abstain. Okay. Abstain. Okay. Inouye. Gustafin. Then Ka'anehe.
Gustafson.
Ka'apanaaki. Gustafin. Kim.
Gustafson.
Okay. Kennard. Gustafin. Kupuka'a. Not here. Okay. Tarsha Lee. Tarsha Lee. You can do
Gustafson.
Gustafin. Okay. Thank you. Marilyn Lee. Okay. Nagamine.
Gustafson.
Thank you. Alex Ozawa. Gustafin. Catherine Ozawa. Gustafin. Park.
Gustafson.
Thank you. Juana. Gustafin. Ross. Gustafin. Segura. Okay. Smart.
Gustafson.
Gustafin. And then Sorsina.
Gustafson.
Thank you. And then last one, Williams.
Gustafson.
Okay, with that, we have 21 Gustafin, 0 nays, and 1 abstain. So Sabrina, you will be the secretary. Thank you.
Congratulations, Sabrina. Okay, we're going to move on to treasurer. Are there any nominations for the position of treasurer? Sabrina?
I nominate Josie Kahanehe.
Okay, Josie Nehe has been nominated by Sabrina. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Flores. Are there any, or Josie, do you accept the nomination?
Yes, please.
Okay. Members, are there any other nominations for treasurer at this time? Okay, hearing none. Rachel, over to you.
Okay, so we are voting for treasurer. The options are Kanehe or just say quiet. Okay. Bass.
Nehe.
Hermati. Kanehe. Flores. Kanehe. Freed. Kanehe. Gustafin. Kanehe. Inouye. Kanehe. And then Kanehe.
Ka'anehe.
Ka'apanaaki. Kanehe. Kim. Kanehe. Kennard. Kanehe. Okay. Kanehe. Thank you. Yeah. Pupuka'a. Do you want to vote for Kanehe as treasurer or not? We're doing the voting for treasurer. Josie. Yes or no? Okay. Okay. So we're gonna go with Kanehe from Pupuka'a. Yes, 11. Okay. And then Darsha Lee.
Ka'anehe.
You. Marilyn Lee. Kanehe. Nagamine.
Ka'anehe.
Kanehe. Alex Ozawa. Kanehe. Catherine Ozawa. Kanehe. Park.
Ka'anehe.
You. Rana. Kanahe. Ross. Kanahe. Then Segura. Kanahe. Smart.
Ka'anehe.
Kanahe. And then Saracina.
Ka'anehe.
Thank you. Williams.
Ka'anehe.
Okay, we have 23 Kanahe, 0 nays, 0 abstains. Josie, you will be the treasurer. Thank you.
Congratulations,
Mahalo.
Josie.
Mahalo.
Now be very careful with all that money, all 0 of those dollars. Okay, next up, we got monthly reports. So we got HFD for their first report. Welcome.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Captain Marrero from the Mililani Fire Station. Here are the emergency statistics for the month of June. For fires, we had 1 structure fire, 3 brush fires, 4 nuisance alarm fires, 1 cooking fire, and 3 activated alarms which were not fires. For emergencies, we have 78 medicals, 1 motor vehicle collision with pedestrian, 7 motor vehicle crashes, and 1 hazardous materials incident. The fire safety tip for the month of July is about wildland fire awareness, prevention, and preparedness. Wildland fires significantly threaten Hawaii landscapes, wildlife, and communities. With dry conditions and daily activities increasing the risk, it's crucial to take proactive steps to prevent and mitigate wildland fires. Lighten the load. Reduce the risk of ignition by maintaining your yard and cleaning your gutters to remove fuels. Clear, cool, and contain. Clear vegetation 10 feet around campfires and barbecues. Keep a shovel and water nearby and ensure fires are completely extinguished before leaving. Watch the spark. Ensure machinery and recreational vehicles with operating spark arresters are maintained regularly. For more information, visit these online resources: the Honolulu Fire Department, Department of Emergency Management, and Hawaii Wildlife Management Organization. Are there any questions?
Members of the board, members of the public, are there any questions for the Honolulu Fire Department at this time? Please raise your hand. Anne, go ahead.
Is this thing on? Is it on now?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to, first of all, commend the city and county for passing a law on fireworks seems to be working. I don't know about you folks, but it was, in my district, it was quieter than it has been in years. So I just wanted to hear how it was for you folks to handle the fireworks changes in the law over the 4th of July.
By us handling the changes in law, what do you mean exactly?
How was it for you policing the fireworks in our
I
district?
can't speak for the whole department, but for our station, we had no alarms pertaining to our fireworks. Yeah. So it's good. It works, I guess. Any other questions?
Members of the board, members of the public, are there any other questions for HFD? Member Ka'anehe, please proceed.
I'm sorry, this is to Anne's question. In my area, we had 4 homes shooting them off. Thank you.
Oh, a response to Anne's question. Thank you. Any further questions, members? Members of the public? Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, HPD.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Lieutenant Scott Villa from the Wahiawa Police Station, which covers the North Shore, Wahiawa, and Mililani. The stats for Mililani-Waipi'o, excuse me, for the last month, there are 4 assaults, there was 0 robberies, there were 7 burglaries, which was a little higher than usual, so I ran it, and just FYI, 5 of which occurred on beat 250, which is on, if you're on Cam Highway going towards town, it's everything on your right, you know, the golf course side, the old Safeway, it's on that side. There were 6 UEMVs, or unlawful entry into motor vehicles. And there are 737 total calls for service. Safety tip for the month, just summer's upon us, more people doing outdoor activities, whether you're at the beach, hiking. I just have some tips on theft prevention. First of all, wherever you park your car, make sure it's, if possible, in a well-lit area, or if you're at the beach or hiking, someplace where at least there's people around the vehicle. Sometimes you park it someplace so secluded, and it just more risk for people to break into your car because there's no one there, no witnesses. If you park somewhere and you see glass on the ground, probably not a good place with the smash and grabs. Just something to take observations. Don't leave valuables in your car. If you do, try to keep them out of sight. Lock your vehicle. And if you're at the beach hiking or whatever, don't leave your valuables unattended. I'm at the beach often and I see people leave their cell phones, cameras and stuff. So just try to leave it with somebody watching it, take turns swimming, or just be aware that you have valuables on the beach. And don't hide your keys. A lot of people go to the beach, hide their keys. Sometimes people are watching. So try to secure your keys a little bit better than just hiding it and then going off into the water. And then I just want to, if you guys didn't hear, I know it was covered in the media, but Wahiawa Police Station started a gun buyback program. It was actually targeted for more kapuna. If, family members or someone deceased has a gun, you don't know what to do with it, just contact the Wahiawa Police Station. We'd be more than happy to assist you in turning in that gun. But of course, we're not going to turn over anyone who wants to turn in a gun, kupuna or not. That's all I got.
Members of the board, members of the public, are there any questions for Honolulu Police Department? Member Kupuka'a, followed by Kate Ozawa.
I have two questions. Last month or the month before, I was in a hurry to, I had an event at the town center, California Pizza. And apparently I didn't lock my car because when I came back, I didn't notice, but the next morning I saw that the sticker that that the Toyota service when the next time you have to turn in, and it was taken off and they chipped at my windshield. And I said, what use would they have for that service, sticker? And another thing I have is a big problem with cars running the red light. It happens every time I come to this Ruby Tuesday intersection, and 1 block away, people are just turning against the red light. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know why they would take that decal that for your next your service. Sorry, I don't have an answer for that. But as far as the red lights, we had an OIC complaint a couple of weeks ago in that area. I'll mention to the people to monitor it, but if you see violations, you get a car, a license plate, please call 911 and we can talk to the driver or the owner of the car.
Member Kate Ozawa, go ahead.
Hello. Okay. So I live on Kanamea Street. And right behind our house is Kipapa Drive. I've noticed that when the road is wet and it's either early morning or early evening, people who speed tend to not know that the turn there is coming. And we've had multiple people over the years crash into the sidewalk, crash into the trees, and always makes a commotion. I was just wondering if there's any chance we could put like a turn coming sign at that turn, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so any changes to like the road design or signage and stuff comes from the I believe the Department of Planning and Permitting or the roadways. They usually do like some kind of study. I will mention to our officers the area, but if it's a problem and there's more collisions, I know they do some reviews and looking if there's constant accidents, they'll look at that and do the road study, but it's usually up to the state, the engineers and the Department of Transportation, I believe.
Any further questions? Anne?
Same thing. It's on. It's on? Okay, now it's on. So I just have the same kind of question is, did you folks deploy drones from our area on the 4th of July? That's part one. And part two, if so, did you make any arrests?
Not that I'm aware of, not any drones.
Are you guys, so who's deploying drones then?
What area was this? And
So they just passed a law where they said they were going to police, and the HPD, head of HPD did a press conference where he said they were going to, deploy drones to find illegal fireworks. And I don't know if the threat was what did it, but I guess I would like to know how that's working. Who's doing it?
Oh,
Is
okay.
it being handled centrally from HPD, or are the districts being given drones? I guess I'd like to know how it's working.
Okay, so I can, the districts haven't been given drones. If that's the tool that HPD got, I know the SSD has them for their operations. If it was for specific, was that for fireworks, you said? Yeah, I'm not sure if any other detail went out and did things in the area, but they're not assigned to the districts at this point. We haven't been trained or anything in the drone usage yet. Yeah, sorry, Ann.
Ka'apana Aki, followed by Lee, or Marilyn Lee, followed by Ross.
So you had mentioned something about the turning in of firearms was
Yeah.
initially for the purpose of, I guess, kupuna,
Right.
which then prompts my question. What happens if someone inherits a firearm from their kupuna?
Oh, then it's no problem. The program was actually if people have a firearm that they really didn't want in the house, then to turn it. But if you inherit it and you guys want the firearms, that's not what we're trying to do. We're not trying to take them from you. It's just an avenue, because a lot of people we talk to, they have it, their significant other passed away, their relative was, given to them, and they don't really want it in the house. So we try to just offer somewhere where they can turn it in and make it easier for whoever wants to turn it in.
My second question is regards to the substation possibilities in the future. And was there any word of possibility of HPD assuming the Ruby Tuesday location?
I haven't heard anything about that. I know at some point we're going to move to the new building that's being built in across the Wahiawa Shopping Center by Fulan. I don't know. I don't want to give any wrong information, but it was kind of just rumors that we heard. Eventually, we're going to get out of the building we're in now. But as far as Ruby Tuesdays, I'm sorry, I didn't hear anything.
If I may, that might be a good question to post to City Council Member Val Okimoto's office, since she did do a resolution in support of this board's resolution. She's also the new City Council Budget Chair. So this could be a conversation that we could ask.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. I don't know.
Member Marilyn Lee, followed by Member Ross.
Yeah, I live on the non-crime side of CAM. But we did have quite a number of big bombs and some aerials, and I did make 2 calls to 911. And after I had made the 2 calls, there were no more. So I assume that someone came to patrol the area. So if you know about that, tell them thank you.
Okay. Well, thanks for calling. I know the other question was presented to the firemen. I noticed a slight difference 4th of July. I still hear fireworks every now and then going off in my neighborhood, but I just asked that you call. And I know it's frustrating. Sometimes it's difficult for us to enforce because we actually have to see it go off, or someone has to be willing to testify, give a statement. I know now the laws changed. We're accepting videos, so it's a challenge, but I think we need to stay on it so that we can kind of work to get improvements.
The operator answered and said that they would be sending somebody to drive by, but it takes a long while to answer the phone. So I understood that, but I wanted to report it anyhow.
Thank you.
Member Ross, go ahead.
Sorry, 2 quick questions again.
Sure.
They're both about the same topic, but slightly different. Gun buyback program, you said happened last week, Saturday, right? In Wahiawa?
Yes.
And then when is the next one?
So it's ongoing. It's on, you can, yeah. So Saturday was like they did I think they let the media know and kind of like a kickoff, I guess.
Oh, okay. So any Saturday
Yeah.
we can go.
Oh no,
from 8 to
any
4, any day.
any day. Yeah.
Okay, and it's just the physical actual gun, or is it like ammunition or other things that they found?
If you got ammunition, even without this program, you can. If you have ammunition that you don't want, you can call the 911, have an officer pick it up.
Yeah,
You can bring it to the station.
But all right, that's not part of the gun buyback program. That's just turning it in to get it off the streets, right?
Yeah.
Just the guns themselves that you'll buy back.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Second question, same buyback program. starting, I think, next week Saturday or this week Saturday. I don't remember. They're doing the fireworks buyback program.
Right.
Is that
Turn it-
only going to happen at Aloha Stadium, or are individual HPD stations also going to open it up just like how you guys are doing for a gun buyback program?
Okay, so from what, anyway, to answer your question, yeah, that fireworks buyback is something that they're doing, and that's at the stadium parking lot. However, if you guys have firearms or, fireworks, you want to turn it in, call. If the officer responds, we need to recover that because it's contraband anyway.
Yeah.
So either way, you can take it to Saturday to their program, but if you guys have or come across fireworks, call 911. We recover it every now and then. Parents find it in their kids' rooms or what have you. We recover fireworks. Just be very careful.
Any further questions, members of the board, members of the public for Honolulu Police Department at this time? Okay, seeing and hearing none. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Okay, next up, U.S. Army, welcome.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sergeant Olivia Cower. I'm coming from the 25th Combat Aviation Brigade. This is my first time coming to the council, so thank you for having me and your patience. Our notes are upcoming job fair. The U.S. Army Garrison Hawaii is holding its next hiring fair on August 19th at the Melemanu Military Reservation Training Room. It begins at 8:30 a.m. and goes till 2 p.m. It is open to the public. There'll be job offers and provisional hiring the day of the job fair. Advanced applicants can go to www.himwr.com. And you can click on the employment banner to learn about the openings. Specifically, when you come to the job fair, they ask that you bring 2 references, proof of ID, social security card, resume, or an application that you would have found online. There are also opportunities in business operations like golf bowling and food services. They seem to especially be looking for child youth services employees. So if that's your area of interest, they are looking to hire. Next note is U.S. Army Garrison published the training advisory for Oahu on July 1st. The Army was conducting or is conducting small arms blank fire for the Ranger Jungle Tactics operations. Specifically jumping to now, it's happening from the 21st of July through the 25th of July. There's aviation training from the 21st of July through the 25th. It is happening in the daytime only from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Additionally, on Schofield Barracks, there will be artillery, mortar, and demolitions training from the 25th of July to the 31st, and night live fire, including late evening and early morning hours. If you want to be added to the training advisory list, email usag.hawaii.comrel@army.mil. Also, if there are any questions or you just want to be added to the distribution list and you'd rather call in, there seems to be a new community concern line, a new phone number at 808-787-1528. Moving on to wildland firefighting. The U.S. Army Garrison Hawaii wildland and federal firefighters actively responded to a bushfire on Schofield Barracks Range. It burned approximately 600 acres. Air operations were conducted by the 25th Aviation Brigade and Air National Guard Blackhawks and Chinook helicopters, which dropped more than 660 gallons of water to support the firefighting crews on the ground. The fire remained contained with the installation, and there were no threats to homes or facilities. The most important note that I have is at this time, the cause of the fire is undetermined and is under investigation. We remain grateful for your patience and also our partners in the community that helped fight this fire. My last note is there is going to be more training. JPMRC, which stands for Joint Pacific Multinational Readiness Center. The 25th Infantry Division will execute this JPMRC training exercise between October and November of this year. Please be aware that there will be an increase in traffic and noise. More details to follow in the coming months, and we thank you for your patience. And once again, if there are any concerns, please call the hotline, or not the hotline, but the community concern line at 808-787-1528.
Mahalo, Sergeant Cowart. Welcome.
Thank you.
Members of the board, members of the public, are there any questions for the U.S. Army and their presentation tonight? And
Just want to. Okay, is this working? No. Yes? Yeah, now it's working. So I just want to thank you for your presentation, Sergeant. I have a special place in my heart for sergeants because I was one once.
Thank you for your service.
Good job. And I wanted to pass on, for you to pass on to public affairs that when I get those advisories, I put them on the Nextdoor app and everybody
Okay.
appreciates the heads up. So tell them that's working.
Okay. The Nextdoor app.
Oh, they send it to.
Oh, okay. I'll make note of that and pass that on.
okay, friendly reminder, we need just questions from the board. Rudy, followed by Member Kennard.
Yes, I had a question about the traffic issue. Going past post at all times of day, lunch, afternoon, the traffic is absolutely horrible. And it's because of the post. So are they looking at any resolution of helping to clear that traffic up?
Unfortunately, I am not aware if they are looking into any resolution. I do agree with you. The traffic is pretty backed up. I don't know if there is anything going on about that, and I can look into that further.
Please relay that to Army Garrison.
I
Yeah, that
will.
question. Okay. Brandon, go ahead.
Hello, am I? Brandon. I was wondering if there was a date range and location range for the fire.
For the fire, there was a general area. It was on Schofield Barracks. I believe it was more centered towards the north side in that training range. I could not tell you the specific area. I do know that, and this is just speaking a little more casually, I do know that there was reports from like local Hawaii news that was covering this as well. So I believe the local news covered it, and maybe with a Google search, they would pinpoint it. It was contained to Schofield Barracks though.
Did you have dates for that? The date range?
The date range? Yes, I believe I did. They're not in my notes, but I can tell you approximately when it started, if you give me 1 second. They broke out approximately around June 11th. That is not an exact date, that is an approximate date.
Thank you. Members of the board, members of the public, are there any further questions for U.S. Army at this time? Brandon, go ahead.
One last question. This is from ignorance, but the access to Waikakalaua, the stream that runs into the barricaded entrance, if we were looking to do cleanup efforts, like just as a pedestrians or civilians, can we access that without trespassing through that like open area? We can't drive into that barricade, but like, can we walk down into the stream?
I am slightly unfamiliar with the exact place that the stream is. Is there a name of the stream so I can look into that and then get back to you?
Waikakalaua.
Can you spell that
Yeah,
so that I don't get it wrong?
W-A-I.
I'm sorry, can you start over and talk really loud? I have bad hearing.
W-A-I-K-A-K-A-L-A-U-A. And the access that I was speaking of is at Waikoloani Drive. So at the end of that road there.
I can tell you just from experience, if you're able to park and walk out and you're not going past, it's usually all fenced in. If you're just able to see where you're going, I don't believe you would be trespassing at all. I can look into that as well and bring that information back, just to be sure. I wouldn't see an issue with it. If you're able to access it on foot, I don't believe that you'd be trespassing on base.
So for the follow-up to these questions, you can either wait the whole month and come back, or if the Army would prefer, you can electronically submit an answer to myself and Rachel, and we can distribute that to the board members.
How do I electronically submit an answer?
Okay, so my email is available online at the website. I won't reveal it publicly now.
Okay.
And Rachel Cristobal is also available. Her email is available online as well.
Okay.
Okay. Next question, Dennis Kim.
Yes, so one of the questions I had was about a month ago, security was good, but when
I'm sorry, can you hold the microphone?
okay, when Trump, I guess, attacked Iran, I heard security was increased at all the bases. Does that make sense? I mean,
Yes.
you know, okay.
It went, the security, what's it called? Code went to a next level.
Yeah.
It had more to do with what I believe. This is also not an exact answer. Sometimes the bases will just, if they feel the need to increase security for whatever reason, it's not necessarily always revealed. It was not because of the Iranian attack.
Okay, normally you just take one person's ID card, and now they're asking for everybody in the car.
I believe it was more having to do with the protests going around the US and not so much Iran.
Yeah, I had guests from a foreign country, and they were told to stand outside of the gate until we finished up, and because of security.
I'm sorry to hear about that inconvenience. I believe they do post the new security updates on Facebook. I believe.
Yeah, okay, anyway, I'll follow up on that later on.
Final questions for U.S. Army. Member Ross.
Sorry. So the fire that happened, right? So I'm reading the article about it. So it said it started on Sunday the 13th, ended on Tuesday, or was 50% contained on Tuesday, and that 570 acres were burned all in Schofield. And that, like you said, that they're still reviewing the updates and trying to get us, trying to figure out what caused the fire, which are estimating it started on Sunday. When it came to the initial response for like sending out or anything else like that, is there a way that the Army can update everybody, like Anne-Fried said, like either through the neighborhood app or through Facebook or anything else, so we can just see when these responses are going out? Is there a one quick reference point that we can go to find out what's going on base, or is this something that we have to wait for the news to come out with and then Army Garrison will respond to it?
I feel the answer is I would like to come back to you. There's also, and this is just kind of more me speaking as a citizen maybe. So I know that there's a fire app, and all of the fires reported on the island are updated with that app because we have to go through, local authorities to report that there's a fire. So it's pretty well documented as from sources coming from the Army. I believe it's usually through social media and different articles. Me and the public affairs team are working like as hard as we can to make sure that this information gets back to you guys as quickly as possible. I would say right now, just social media and those fire apps are the quickest way of finding out what's happening.
Okay, I believe that completes all the questions for the U.S. Army at this time. Thank you so much. Our neighborhood assistant, Rachel, has left our contact information on that table over there, so you can follow up to us electronically.
Thank you so much.
Thank you and welcome. Okay, next up, we're going to have Board of Water Supply, Kathleen Pahinui. Welcome.
Mahalo, Chair. Mahalo to all the new board members, and congratulations on your reelection as chair. I'm happy to report no main breaks this month. We are having our 2025 annual Unthirsty Plant Sale at Halava Xeriscape Garden at 99-1268 Eva Enna Street on Saturday, August 2nd from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And we hope you can come down and make it. If you don't come early, you're going to miss all the best plants. But it's a great event. We'll have some booths, people there to talk about things like invasive species. OISC will be there to talk about that and little fire ants. So it's a great way to spend a day with your family. Any questions?
Members of the board, members of the public, are there any questions for the Honolulu Board of Water Supply at this time? Please raise your hand. No? Okay, seeing none.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, Sherry. From the School Facilities Authority. Welcome, Sherry.
Aloha, Chair Bass and members of the board. Sherry Nakamura from the Hawaii School Facilities Authority. We don't have a significant update for the teacher housing project, but I did want to let the board know that we, the SFA, has been meeting with Mililani High School Principal Fred Murphy and the DOE leadership to discuss and coordinate the next steps for the project at Site B. We also continue to work positively with the DOE. Recently, we invited the Deputy Superintendent Tammy Chun to an SFA board meeting, and she provided the results of an employee housing survey that confirmed strong teacher demand for rental housing in the state. And I did pass out a one-pager, maybe not everybody has it, and Rachel is showing it right now on the screen. I wanted to go over a few highlights. So this survey, the Department of Education conducted in April of 2024, and it was sent to over 22,000 employees. So the response rate for this survey was quite good at 43%. That means over 9,500 teachers responded. I should say teachers or educators or employees at DOE. We found some facts, and those circles show some of them. So 35% of the employees said that they were cost burden, which means that they pay over 30% of their income for housing. 41% were identified as retention risks, which means that they are likely to leave their job because of housing costs. Now, it went further to to focus in on the retention risk employees. Amongst those, over 70% of non-homeowners would consider signing a lease for rental housing. So I wanted to, so those are sort of the overarching, talking about who took the survey and sort of the findings. I did want to go down to the very end of this slide, but actually I'm going to ask Rachel to jump to page 18. So one of the questions on the survey was, where would you like to live, or where would you like to have rental housing if available? And on page 18, there's a map, and it's on your one pager as well. Let's see, we can get down right. So this is a map of the whole state, and the dark green areas are the areas of most demand on every island. And on Oahu, if we go to page 20, it shows that the most desirable place that teachers chose was Mililani. So we're very pleased that this first project is happening in Mililani, which is considered the most desirable locations amongst educators. So I thought that would be of some interest to this board. The full presentation I have left with Chair Bass and Rachel, and so Chair can distribute it or have it available. I'm happy to answer any questions. This was not an SFA survey, but rather a DOE survey. But we were very pleased that the DOE came to our board meeting and shared this information with us, and it helps validate our work here in Mililani.
Thank you, Sherry. It's not surprising that our community is the most desirable, but thank you for that compliment. And members, for your awareness, that PowerPoint slide and that flyer that Sherry has put at your desks. It's also available online at the Neighborhood Board's Google Drive. So feel free, and that's also open to the members of the public. So feel free to check that out. The Google Drive you can access on our agenda. Members of the board, members of the public, are there any questions for Sherry Nakamura of the School Facilities Authority? Please raise your hand. Karumi, followed by Ross.
So here's a question that comes from teachers or potential teachers out in the Department of Education. Would the preferences be given to non-tenured teachers as opposed to tenured teachers? And what about emergency hires, of which there are many now?
Those details of priority has not been decided yet. So I'm not able to answer specifically which class, but I'm gathering that it may not go down to that kind of detail. So the qualification may be just generally be educators, but again, it hasn't been decided yet. But I will take that back and note that teachers are curious about that particular classification.
Ross, go ahead.
So on your website, it states that the Mililani project is expected to be completed by the first quarter of 2030, which would roughly be less than about 4 years away, right? So 4 or 5, depending on how you want to count it. My question is, can you add maybe something to the website, or do you have any updated information on where you are in this progress? Because going through here, I don't even know if your plans have been submitted to plan and permitting. I don't know where any of the money that was approved, I think it was about 1 year or 2 years ago, for this project is. I don't see it on here showing, okay, here's where we are, here's our goal, and here's where we started, and this is where we are right now. Because I love the fact that you're coming to our meetings, and I thank you every single time that you come here, because it gives us a voice and we actually feel like we're actually being listened to. But my question is, where are we in this progress?
Okay.
I know that we submitted that the new site was going to go in, and what's that next step going to look like? And just because I know there are a lot of teachers or educators or people who have children who go to Mililani High School or any of the Mililani public schools, and they're all interested. And I always get those questions. So if there's a way that I could just be like, hey, go to HSFA online, they give you the whole spiel, all this Mililani information, because then it feels like there's a two-way communication back and forth. And right now, I'm still waiting on that extra aspect.
Understood. I hear you, and this is very good input for us. So what I can say is that it is a complicated project, and there's a lot of moving parts. As for the next steps, what we're trying to do is for the developer, Pacific Housing Assistance Corporation, to obtain site control of the area so that it can determine what it needs to be undertaken to begin the design process. And SFA is helping facilitate this process. And recently, we also learned that DOE is embarking on a project that is adjacent to the proposed site. So this is an additional element that we are trying to help coordinate. Now, just to go back to the very beginning of the project, and I think this board is aware that it was supposed to be at a different location. And when it was supposed to be at that different location, the plan was to move the agricultural program to a different part of the campus. And that was going to take time because they were going to have to build a renovated agricultural program before they started construction of the housing program. So we're not going to do that. We're moving the site. So we are saving some time, if you will, because we don't have to wait for the renovation of another program. So I can't say for sure that that time that's listed on our website is going to be the exact time that the project is going to be completed. However, I can tell you that we are not skipping a step, but in a way skipping a step, because we can work directly on the Site B project as opposed to renovating another space and then starting on the project. I will try my best to bring that input and see if we can put a firmer timeline on our website. In lieu of that, I am here every month, and I am happy to provide as much information as I can and take back input from you all. School is going to be starting in August, and I think Ken knows that I also, and Marilyn and Danielle knows that I also attend the school community council meetings. So I'm trying to be as informative and transparent as possible. Believe me, we hope that we can execute as quickly as possible. And I'm happy to provide as much information as I can and as I know. So I hope that's helpful.
Go ahead.
What is this additional DOE project that's happening next to it? Or are you not allowed to inform us and I have to ask the reps?
I think it's okay to talk about it. So there's a outdoor, it's called an airnasium. And I think it's happening at the tennis court. So site B is down by the athletic fields, and I think the tennis court is right there. So that's another project that it just so happens that it's going to be at the tennis court. So now there's a little bit of coordination that needs to happen because the project is going to be quite close to that airnasium. So that's the thing that's being discussed right now. Yeah.
Yeah, that is mainly managed by the DOE, not the SFA, for clarity.
Right.
Okay. I know Marilyn has a question. Are there any other questions before we go again? Kate, and then we'll go to Karumi again. So Marilyn, Kate, Karumi. Your question was answered. Great. Kate.
What is an air?
Use the microphone.
What is an airnasium?
Airnasium is an outdoor, it can be an outdoor athletic event facility. So you put a covering over the tennis court, for example, but it can be simple as like a tent or as elaborate as a structure where they actually put a roof on it. So my understanding is because athletics is so important to Mililani High School, there's a desire to have another space besides the gym to hold athletic events. So that's what an airnasium is, but there are many kinds of airnasium. And yes, Chair Bass is correct. We're not in charge of that project. So that's going on simultaneously.
So for those who have been to Mililani Middle School and Mililani Melka, there was the issues of the covered play courts years ago that were appropriated by the previous legislators and have been constructed recently and as recently as this year for those respective schools. Covered play courts, very similar, but it's actually preferred to be called an airnasium. So Mililani High School is calling it an airnasium, right? Not covered play courts. Karumi, you have a question.
Has a project already gone out to bid?
So as I was mentioning before, this is not a typical state project. It is a public-private partnership. So actually, the proposal has been awarded to the Pacific Housing Assistance Corporation, which is was going to develop the project. So that choice has been decided, and then they plan and finance the project. And so it's not something where we're going to go out and ask and have contractors bid. It's already been decided that this developer will be developing this project. Pacific Housing Assistance Corporation is a nonprofit based here in Hawaii. They have over 30 years close to 40 years of experience with affordable housing projects. So they're it is a nonprofit, but a local company that specializes in building housing. And this is just for everybody's information or for those who haven't been here. It is a type of model where they will maintain, Pacific Housing will have the responsibility of property managing and maintaining the teacher housing so that the state doesn't have to do that responsibility because sometimes the state doesn't necessarily have the expertise to do rental property managing. So it'll be with the responsibility will be with the Pacific Housing in this case.
Any final questions for the School Facilities Authority? Sir, please step up to the microphone, introduce yourself for the record, direct your question, and Sherry will answer at the microphone. Thank you.
Thank you, Board. Thank you, Chair. My name is Daniel Michael Gabriel. My question is this. I turn on the news frequently and you see many situations, compromising situations between students and faculty. My main concern is this. I have hope for my fellow man, and I like to think the best of all of us, but I also understand human nature. What kind of safeguards will be in place to protect not only the reputations of our faculty, but also more importantly, our students? Will there be safeguards about them being allowed in these places? And I would like to see that they are not allowed into these facilities. And what are they going to do to safeguard our students?
Thank you, Daniel, for your question. I don't have any specifics, but this safety concern was heard loud and clear at the community meetings that we had back at the end of 2024. I do know that it is going to be a specifically separate, not only property, but area. So I can't, it hasn't been constructed yet, but I do know that it's going to be like considered separate from the school. And we haven't ironed out all the details of all of the rules. And that's some of the things that take some time to negotiate with all the parties. But I'll be sure to take back that input. And it was, again, heard loud and clear, the issue about safety, especially for our students and the faculty here at Mililani High School, because the teacher housing project is not necessarily, or it's not only for Mililani High School teachers. It's going to be teachers who live on Oahu. And so it's not necessarily part of Mililani High School, although it's located on Mililani High School.
Okay. Anne, and you're going to be the final question. We still got the long agenda, folks.
Okay, now it's working. Okay, thanks for your presentation, Cheryl. So if I missed it, I apologize, but I remember the meeting that we had where there were lots of people in this room saying they could not afford these so-called affordable housing. So has that issue been addressed? Is something that's truly affordable by most of the employees of DOE that would live there?
Again, we heard that information and that input, and we know that it has to be affordable for teachers. A lot of it depends on the conditions of the building and the development, and whether or not there is going to be any state support. So all I can say is we understand that that is one of the most important issues, and we are going to do our best to try to make it as affordable as we can for our educators.
I want to thank you, Sherry, for your presentation and this update. We've had robust discussion for the last 17 minutes on this matter, and you do come back every month, so thank you. And I'm sure when we have more questions for next round, we'll still have some questions, and we look forward to future updates. Thank you. Okay, folks, we're going to move on to the board business regarding our meeting date. So we're going to discuss, first off, I'll make a motion for the meeting date, time, location, and format for the virtual component that the Mililani-Waipi'o-Melemanu Neighborhood Board 25 presently meets on the fourth Wednesday of the month and will continue to meet on the fourth Wednesday of the month, 7:30 p.m. at Mililani High School with a virtual component. That is the status quo of our current meeting. Is there a second to that motion? Seconded by Mary Smart. Is there any discussion?
I'd like to make an amendment to that
Okay.
motion.
There's yes, go ahead and make your amendment.
I was doing some research on the boards, and of the 33 boards in the Neighborhood Board Commission, we are the only board that meets at 7:30. And when we do that, our meetings get out at 10:30, 10:30. I'd like to amend this to say our meetings start at 7. I've talked to a couple of the representatives and they are used to getting to the meetings at 7 because like I said, we are the only board that has 7:30. So I feel like if we start at 7, we could maybe be out before 10:30.
Okay, there's an amendment to the motion. So the amendment is for 7 PM. Is there a second to the amendment? Seconded by Ross. Now we're in discussion to the amendment. Members, is there any discussion to the amendment proposed? Marilyn?
I would just say that we would need to first know if that's going to be convenient for the school before we decide on that, on the time. Because they may have.
To answer your question, that should be convenient because we do reserve the school ahead of that time.
Ahead of
Yeah,
that time?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Any further discussion for the amendment at 7 PM? Members, discussion? Questions? No discussion? Mary, your question.
If you object, are we still going to do the roll call on this amendment?
Rachel, how would you like to do the vote for this?
So if there's no more discussion, we can vote. Actually, are you okay with the amendment?
Well, we're in
Me?
discussion.
No,
for-
okay.
So
Okay.
Mary has a point of information question.
Okay, so.
Is there any, or how will the vote be made for the amendment?
Okay, so since we have an amendment and no more discussions, we can do the vote for the amendment. If it fails, then we go back to the original.
Well, so to clarify Mary's question, will the vote for the amendment be roll call?
Yeah, we do roll call.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion on the amendment before this board for 7 PM? I will add to the discussion for point of information for everyone. I want to remind everyone that the contract for Olelo is 3 hours, right? And that's why when we've had longer meetings going out to 10:30, I have to immediately adjourn, even though we can't finish the agenda because the contract the NCO has with Olelo ceases at 3 hours, right? And I have received complaints in the past about the lateness of our meetings with the robust discussion like SFA and many other, the Kunia situation. So I want to keep in mind that if we have a 7:30 meeting, right, the 3-hour time limit will go to 10:30. So we will inevitably, if we have lively conversation, we will have longer meetings till 10:30. If we do meet at 7, that cutoff time is 10, right? So just since I've received multiple complaints on that matter in the past, I just wanted to point that out to folks before before we do vote. Is there any other discussion to that? Seeing no hands, let's go to the vote. Rachel.
Okay, so we're still doing the fourth Wednesday, but we're going to check for 7 PM, Mililani High School, and keeping it virtual. We'll vote for aye, nay, or abstain. Okay, Rana? Aye. Okay. Catherine Ozawa?
Aye.
Aye. Karmati? Aye. Inouye? Aye. Freed? Aye. Flores?
Aye.
Aye. Gustafin? Aye. Kanehe?
Aye.
Kaapana Aki? Aye. Kim? Tupuka'a? Aye. Darsha Lee?
Abstain.
Abstain. Okay. Marilyn Lee? Aye. Nagamine?
Aye.
Aye. Alaktazawa? Rodney? Park?
Yeah, aye.
Thank you. Ross? Aye. Segura? Okay. Smart?
Nay.
Nay. Okay. And then Saracina?
Aye.
Aye. Bernard? Abstain. Williams?
Aye.
Aye. And Bass?
Aye.
Aye. With that, we have 19 ayes, 1 nay, and 2 abstain. So we are going to vote for the fourth Wednesday, 7:30 at Mililani High School virtual. Thank you. Oh,
So
sorry,
now the amendment passed for 7 PM.
Yeah, same.
So now we're going to vote to the original motion, confirming that this board will meet on the fourth Wednesday of the month, 7 PM, Mililani High School. Members, is there any additional discussion to the intended time of this motion? Seeing and hearing none, Rachel for the vote.
Okay. Okay, so let me do another roll call. Rana? Yes. Takanazawa? Aye. Ramadi? Aye. Inouye? Aye. Flores? Freed? Aye. Gustafin? Aye. Kanehe?
Aye.
Kapana Aki? Aye. Kim? Aye. Kupuka'a? Aye. Darsha Lee?
Abstain.
Abstain, okay. Marilyn Lee? Aye. Nagamine?
Aye.
Aye. Alice Uzawa? Aye. Park?
Aye.
Ross? Aye. Segura? Aye. Smart?
Aye.
Aye. Josefina?
Aye.
Aye. Kennard? Abstain. And then Williams?
Aye.
Aye. And then Bass?
Aye.
Okay, so with that, we have 21 ayes, 0 nays, and then 2 abstain. So the motion has passed to have it for fourth Wednesday, 7 PM at Mililani High School and keeping it hybrid. Thank you.
Okay, next up, we're going to discuss the board recess schedule. Members, this board is allotted 3 recesses for the term July 1st, 2025 to June 3rd, 2026. We've had discussion on this matter in the past of whether we wanted 3 meetings or 3 recesses, 2 recesses. I did not propose any time, so I am open to suggestions. And I will like to remind members of the board that we caution against July recesses because we have to reorganize the board every July. Okay, so with that, that is the motion. Is there a second to taking this up?
Second.
Second. Are there any amendments or amendments for suggestions of the recess days? Sabrina.
I'm making a motion, right? That's what it is.
So the motion right now is that we're going to do 3 recesses and you're going to be
I'm
providing an
amending the
amendment to the
motion.
3. Yeah.
That instead of the 3, we just take 1 in December. This meeting is very accessible to everybody in a board position. And I feel as elected officials, we owe the community the opportunity to come whenever they can and as often as they can to voice their concerns. And sometimes if we have no meeting, they're discouraged from coming because the issue then passes. So I feel we'd get more community involvement if we give them every opportunity to show up. And as board members, I believe we're allowed to miss 3 ourselves. So if you need to miss a meeting, feel free to do so. You can miss up to 3. But we should, as a board, give the community the opportunity to come 11 times out of the year. So I would make the amendment that we only recess in December and meet every other month.
Members, or is there a second to that amendment?
Second.
Seconded by Ann. Members, are there any discussion to having only 1 recess? Mary.
Okay, I prefer, we always are debating whether it's going to be December or November. Now, is it against the rules to have 2 in a row? Yes. Okay. Never mind.
Any further discussion? Harumi.
Could you refresh our memory as to what we did last term?
We took the recess on December,
I think
March, and then we rolled the March to April because the holiday interfered, Prince Kuhio's holiday interfered with our recess day. So it was December and April was the last year. So any thoughts on this, Ross?
I know this is looking out kind of far ahead, but Rachel, are there any days that are on the fourth Wednesday of the month that the city and county cannot do like how we did in March? So we already know that that month we're not going to be showing up, or we're going to have to adjust.
So I checked in advance too, and it looked like there was no holidays on the Wednesdays.
Yes. There's only one holiday on a Wednesday, that's Veterans Day, but that is the third Wednesday of November, not the fourth. Any further discussion? Rudy?
Yes, I just want to make sure that we are maintaining the option of taking an additional day if something does occur that we need to.
Rachel, correct me if I'm wrong, but that option is only available if the board does not agendize their meeting in time, or if there's a holiday or some type of emergency.
Okay, so in case there's an emergency, if let's say we only recess for 1 month this right now, right? An emergency comes up, then you can take from that the recesses that are remaining to cover for that. And we can let Mililani High School that, there won't be a meeting, so they won't charge us.
But there won't, do we retain the option of making further recesses as we go?
You can.
Okay. Further discussion, Mary?
So are the 3 absences per year or per 2-year cycle?
So your absence is per term. So what happens is that when your absence reach 3, that's when I send the letter. And then that's when the board decides whether to vote you off or not. And it happens again when you hit the 5th absence.
So let's say we're allowed the 3, we only take the 1. So does that mean you get 5 absences during the 2-year period?
So it resets the next July, if that makes sense.
So it's for the 1-year term, not the 2. So for every 1 year, yeah, it's for the 1 year and
Okay,
it
thank you.
resets. Further discussion, Dennis, followed by Karumi.
Just a question. Last year we had discussions about having our meeting on November, the
Yeah.
4th Wednesday.
Yeah.
Is that something that we need to look at, or is it just, it wasn't no problem with me to meet there, but I'm just wondering if there's other people that have similar, we're going to have the same discussion later on.
We've had this discussion openly for the last 2 years. And I think that this board wrestles with the fact of, do we take the Wednesday before Thanksgiving off as a courtesy to those who practice Thanksgiving? Or do we take the holiday season off in December? It was advised to us in previous meetings that we cannot have back-to-back recesses. So that's, I guess, the question in the motion or in the amendment provided by Sabrina. If Sabrina's amendment is that we only have 1 recess instead of the 3 that are allotted, then we're only going to be taking off December. Anne?
Yeah, I just want to say that Sabrina's motion is well taken, is that we have access to that now. And, so, if you're cooking, you can still be in a meeting, on WebEx while you're cooking. So I don't.
Except if you're running the meeting, but yeah. My pie's just gonna be late. Kidding. Any other discussion, folks? Karumi?
So I like that commitment to serve, and it applies to the commitment to serve as many times each month. However, is there something in the bylaws that talks about the duration of a meeting, that you have to be here for at least X amount of minutes during the meeting?
No, there isn't. So I let people know, hey, you can just be on for a minute and you're good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the best part would be to try to stay as long as you can, But yeah.
Rachel, could you speak up? We're having a hard time hearing.
Oh, okay. So there is no time limit to be on here. So let's say you really can't make it. I let them know that try to be at least there for a minute if you really can. But if you can, try to be as long as you can online.
Any further discussion, or shall we vote? Brandon?
Just a clarification, the 3 excused absences, within a year or within the 2-year term?
The 3 absences is for this 1-year period. So we were all elected for a 2-year term. And at every July, the board resets. We have to re-vote officers, we recreate committees, we redo exactly what we're doing today. And so your 3 absences only pertain to that 1-year cycle.
Thank you.
Further discussion, member? Okay, seeing and hearing none. Rachel, for the vote on Sabrina's amendment for 1 recess.
Okay, 1 recess for December. Last day, aye, nay, or abstain. Rana? Aye. Catherine Ozawa? Abstain. Harmani? Aye. Inoy? Aye. Flores? Reed? Aye. Gustafin? Aye. Kanehe?
Aye.
Ka'apanaaki? Aye. Kim? Aye. Pupuka'a? Aye. Darshali?
Aye.
Aye. Marilyn Lee? Aye. Nagamine?
Aye.
Aye. Alex Uzawa? Aye. Park?
Aye.
Ross? Aye. Segura? Aye. Smart?
Abstain.
Abstain. Tersina?
Aye.
Kennard? Aye. Williams?
Aye.
Aye. Bass?
Abstain.
Abstain. Okay. So that's 20 ayes, 0 nays, and 3 abstains. I'm gonna take that we are gonna pass with the,
Okay, we're gonna vote on the motion. Oh, no, it was amended, right? Okay, so
Yeah.
we're gonna vote on the motion to solidify that? No,
I'll leave it as that.
you're gonna
because
leave it as
if
that? You don't need
yeah,
it? Okay, so that's gonna be satisfactory to you?
Yeah, for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question,
Ross?
can we request to move November's 1, just November's 1, from the 4th to the 3rd week, so I don't interrupt Thanksgiving? Or because we already approved that every single one's going to be on the 4th week, we cannot move it?
Oh, you can move it as long as it's on the agenda. We can vote on the changing of the date for the November.
So I would like to make a motion for amendment to
Wait.
request, or can I not do that?
Hold on.
During on the agenda.
Rachel, point of order. We just voted on the meeting date, time, and location to be the 4th Wednesday in the first motion.
Oh, so for now, it will be whatever was voted. But let's say for some reason, like something comes up in November, the board member can request to the chair, and it's the chair's, has to put it on the agenda and then do a vote if everybody wants that or not.
So you're saying is in October, I make the, or before October, make the request. In October, she puts it on the agenda, we vote for it, and then we can decide whether or not we want to move just that one meeting.
I would try to do a little bit, maybe like a month earlier before October. Just a
Okay,
month.
so if I request for it now and I just gotta send an email to both of you guys, and then we can do it next month to decide this.
Yeah, we can talk about this.
Okay.
Wait, that doesn't make, okay, to move it to the 3rd Wednesday for discussion on the agenda as an agenda item in a future meeting. That is your request.
Yeah, I'll send you the email.
Okay. Rachel, are we good on item B? Okay, great. Folks, we're going to move on to C, rules for the neighborhood board, adoption of oral testimony rules. Public comments are presently limited to 2 minutes. Presentation time allotment may be made by mutual agreement between the presenter and the chair. I'd like to make the motion for this. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion, members, to this testimony rule?
Yeah, I'd like to make an amendment to 5 minutes. I think 2 minutes is really, you can barely get your name out in that amount of time.
Is there a second to the amendment? No second. All right, we're going to go back into discussion of the motion. Any further discussion for a 2-minute oral testimony rule? Brandon,
Propose an amendment to increase the time from 2 to 3 minutes.
is there a second for 3? Seconded for 3 discussion to the amendment for 3 minutes, members. Any discussion? Please raise your hand. Sabrina.
Question, is this for people that come up and speak at the mic, or this is for us as well? The 3-minute limit?
This would be public comments, so it actually applies to monthly reports. It would apply to community concerns, elected official reports. It's anything but presentations. Further discussion for the amendment of 3 minutes, members? Okay, seeing and hearing none. Rachel, for the vote on the amendment for 3 minutes for oral testimony.
Rana? Abstain. Captain Ozawa? Nay. Ramadi? Abstain. Inouye? Aye. Flores? Aye. Freed? Aye. Gustafson? Aye. Kanehe?
Aye.
Aye. Ka'apana'aki? Aye. Kim? Aye. Kupuka'a? Aye. Darsha Lee?
Nay.
Nay. Okay. Vernon Lee? Aye. Nagamine? Aye. Alex Ozawa? Aye. Park?
Aye.
Aye. Ross?
Aye.
Abstain. Isagura? Aye. Smart?
Aye.
Aye. Cersina?
Aye.
Aye. Kennard? Aye. Williams?
Aye.
Bass?
Abstain.
Abstain. Okay. So I have 17 ayes, 2 nays, and 4 abstains. So this amendment has passed for 3 minutes.
Okay. Testimony rules will be revised to 3 minutes for future. Okay, next up, we have creation of board committees and chairs. The chair may establish committees to appoint members for the term year July 1, 2025, June 30, 2026 to read as Community Partnerships and Community Outreach, Community Recognition and Service Awards, Community Maintenance and Walk Audit, Planning, Zoning, Sustainable Development and Climate Resilience, Transportation and Oahu Metropolitan Planning Organization, Military Affairs and Emergency Management, Health, Houselessness and Human Services, Parks and Recreation and Patsy T. Mink Central Oahu Regional Park, and Education. Members, for clarification, should this committee assignment be passed by the board, I will contact members and please contact me as well if you are interested in serving. I did not name any chairs because I didn't want to have any presumption that this would pass. So we will follow up with appointment of chairs in the next meeting. We will not need a vote on that. So it'll be appointment at the discretion of the chair. This is the motion. Is there a second to these committees?
Second.
Seconded. Is there any discussion to the committees for this board?
I'd like to make an amendment.
Mhm.
I was chair of the Parks and Recreation and Patsy T. Mink Central Washington Regional Park last year, and it's redundant. We should just either be City and County Parks and Recreation, Honolulu City and County Parks and Recreation, but we don't need the Patsy T. Mink. That's one of the parks.
Okay.
I have no preference.
Makes sense. I'll second that. Any discussion of that amendment? Okay. Rachel, if I see that as friendly, can I accept that? Or do we have to vote?
Oh, no. So I just want to double check. Removing the Patsy T.
Mink
Central
Court.
Oahu Regional.
Yeah.
Okay, that part, right? Okay. Okay, if there's no abstains or nays, that's good.
Are there any abstentions or nays to the amendment proposed by Sabrina? Please raise your hand if you'd like to abstain on this vote or oppose this vote.
Okay, seeing none.
Great.
Good.
Okay, so that has been amendment. We're going back to all the committees. Members, is there any other discussion for the committees for this board? Seeing and hearing none. Rachel, do you prefer a roll call vote?
Yes. Okay. We'll just start with the nays and abstains first. Okay. Any abstains for this? To have the listed committees to be created? I see no abstains. Is there any nays? Seeing none. Okay. So our board member has voted to keep these committees created. Thank you.
Okay, we have created committees. We've established meeting times for 7 p.m. We're recessing for only one day of next year. And we will move on to the approval of meeting minutes. Thank you, members. I'd like to recognize Sabrina for the motion of the regular meeting minutes for Wednesday, June 25th, 2025.
The June 25th, 2025 meeting minutes was mailed out. With this agenda, I've received no corrections or amendments, so I'd like to make a motion to approve them.
Okay, it was moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing and hearing none. Rachel?
Okay. Is there any nays? Seeing none. Abstains? Okay. Didn't see any, so we're going to pass the June 25 minutes as written. Thank you.
Great work. It's 9 p.m. and we're moving on to community concerns. At this point in time, are there any members of the community who would like to communicate with this board their concerns or any events within our community? Please raise your hand. Okay, seeing and hearing none. We're going to move on to elected officials reports. First up, we have Congressman Ed Case's office. I do not see Nestor Garcia online, so we will move on to Governor Green's office. I see Tony's here in person. Welcome, Tony.
Good evening. Thank you, Chair and members of the Neighborhood Board. I just have a couple updates. I'll be quick. The governor's office announced recently the hiring of the new fire marshal. I know there had been some news on that the month before, but she officially started her job in June, and she's leading the charge on executing the 10 priorities that the Fire Safety Research Institute and the Attorney General's office came up with in their 3 reports related to Maui's overall, the state and county's response to that wildfire. She's got 2 decades of experience with fire safety and leadership, and we welcome her on board. Another thing they wanted to talk about was the Hawaii Department of Human Services has their 2025 Sunbucks program. It's eligible children who need to have some kind of support for nutrition during the summer months when they're not in school. It's a program that will provide $177 in support for supplemental nutrition assistance for kids of school age. So more than 79,000 children have received Sunbucks. That's about $13.9 million that has been spent so far. It can be used to purchase food at local retailers that accept EBT. Families get a new EBT card in the mail, and if children were already approved for free or reduced price school meals in the 2024-2025 school year, the household already receives SNAP benefits, then you don't have to apply. The child is automatically enrolled in that. Application deadline is August 3rd, and you can go to sunbucks.dhs.hawaii.gov for more information. So sunbucks.dhs.hawaii.gov or call 888-975-7328. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Tony. Members of the board, members of the public, are there any questions for the governor's office at this time? Please raise your hand. Seeing and hearing none. Thank you so much for your report. Members, in follow-up to the mayor's rep, there was a mayor's representative named. However, that individual is unable to attend tonight's meeting. They'll be in attendance at the next night. And a copy of the mayor's report is uploaded at the Mililani-Waipi'o-Melemanu Neighborhood Board's Google Drive. Next up, we have, who is it? Aaron from Councilmember Okimoto's office. I see Aaron is online.
Good evening, Chair, members of the board. Congratulations
On June 27th, Councilmember Okimoto and Council Chair Waters introduced Bill 49, which amends the real property tax for homeowners exemption for taxpayers 65 and older from 160 to 180, and Bill 50, which does the same thing for all homeowners from 120 to 140. There's since been two amendments to that, raising the exemption for taxpayers 65 and older up to 300,000, and the exemption for homeowners up to 250,000. Site investigation found that the crosswalks at the intersection of Makiki Street and Uwai Street were faded. They're going to repaint those and to better define the lanes. And I did owe you a follow-up for the elevator. I don't know if it's going to be the greatest, but I did talk to the division chief there. Basically, they think that it was a purposeful fire that was set. It has damaged more than just electronics, and they need to replace the entire elevator shaft. They did have a current estimate. It's going to be about $250,000. They are currently working to identify potential sources, and I know the specific part of DTS does not pull from the same budget as the, I guess, larger DTS. So that's why they're finding it harder to find the money. I have personally talked to a couple people in the office, and we may lobby the mayor for see if there's some pots of money we have available to get that done sooner than expected. So bear with me. We're trying our best over here, but I think it was based on this extenuating circumstance of a different budget for this particular area of DTS. Since they have put a temporary bus station, I think a little further down the road. They also have said they were in the process of installing signs about a month ago for anyone who needs any help getting either up the stairs or getting to the bus stop themselves. So they're making their efforts to help the needy in that sense. With that, I can take any questions there.
Members of the board, members of the public, are there any questions for Councilmember Okimoto's office? Please raise your hand. Elise, followed by Kate Ozawa.
Hi, I'm glad that you got a hold of the folks at DTS. I don't know if they told you that they have insurance. They're applying for reimbursement for this damage, and that the insurance money would go into the general fund. It wouldn't go right to DTS. So if, I don't know when that money would become available, but we need to make sure that it does, it doesn't get lost in the general fund and it goes to DTS.
I have not heard anything about the insurance or any insurance claim, but you are right. If that has been allocated to the general fund, then I don't think we should have any problem reallocating that back to where it needs to be to get that thing fixed as well. But I can check on that as well.
Yeah. It would be nice to know, when they expect to see that money.
Okay.
I guess as a tangent, it would even be better if the mayor found another way to pay for it and then use the insurance funds to reimburse whatever fund the mayor is using to expedite the need for the elevator, since that was an arson issue. Kate.
Hi. So I had emailed your office this past winter, I think it must have been February or March, about the Mililani Cemetery, and how the roads are absolutely covered in potholes. I blew one of my tires driving down to the cemetery about 6 months ago. I was wondering if it would be, I realized that the land is probably owned by different people. I just was wondering if it was all possible to have that road repaved. That'd be nice.
I think you spoke with Pua, if I'm not mistaken, but I do remember the inquiry, and it was with two different owners. But since they're private roads, the city isn't probably going to allocate any resources to fix those roads. So I got to look back because it was a few months ago, but I'm pretty sure those were privately owned. Those roads.
Any other questions for Councilmember Okimoto's office, members? Seeing and hearing none, thank you so much, Aaron.
Thank you. You have a good evening.
You too. Okay, next up, we have Kelly Anaya online representing Councilmember Wire's office.
Aloha Chair, members of the board, Kelly Anaya from Councilmember Matt Wire's office. Just a couple things I wanted to highlight from the approved budget. The capital improvement project and executive operating budgets were approved by the mayor and includes following projects for the district: Waipi'o Ambulance Unit Facility, $4 million to design, construct, and inspect resilient and sustainable improvements at the Waipi'o Ambulance Unit Facility. Patiti Mink Central Oahu Regional Park, $900,000 to design an additional sustainable and resilient multi-purpose playing field and parking lot. Likewise, at the same park, $800,000 to design tree farm improvements. Also, a couple legislative updates. Councilmember recently co-introduced two measures to provide some real property tax relief for homeowners. Bill 50 would increase the exemption from $120,000 to $140,000. And Bill 49 would increase the Kapuna homeowner exemption. So if you're 65 and older, from $160,000 to $180,000. Councilmember also did additional amendments to both bills, which would increase the homeowner exemption to $250,000 and then the Kapuna exemption to $300,000. Although these amendments were not agendized on the last budget committee, he's hopeful that at some point it will be considered by the council. Let's see, a couple other things. Councilmember also had the opportunity to share how the city plays a crucial role in the state's goal of going 100% renewable energy by 2045 at the 11th annual Bioenergy Sources Forum. The city's H-Power refuse to energy plant, as well as Hawaii Gas, Honouliuli renewable gas facility, which uses biogas from the Honouliuli wastewater treatment plant. And then I know this is technically not city, but I just wanted to let everybody know that I did have the opportunity to go out with HPD and the Army right there at the end of that Waikalani Drive, you know, that area with the bus stop and all the birds, to address the homeless situation that is constantly ongoing. You know, I just want to give a shout out to the Army specifically, you know, for kind of finally addressing this issue. They're hoping to get that area cleared out soon, but there are some logistics that they're still having to work on. So also shout out to Kealoha West as well as Project Vision, who were on hand again to try to help offer services to the individuals that were there. And that's it for my report. If anyone has any questions for a council member, I can take them back.
Members of the board, members of the public, are there any questions for Councilmember Wire's office? Please raise your hand. Mary.
Thank you for bringing up that homeless issue right there during the valley, because when coming up the road, I saw it looked like a community of residents. And I didn't know if is that the Army land or is that there's some land for sale right there? I didn't know if it was on the private property.
I think they border with each other, but we were only there to inspect the Army's property. I mean, we don't have jurisdiction over that private.
Is anyone working with the private property owner? Because it looked really
I'm
bad.
gonna have to say no, because when we went out, there were no individuals on that private property. They were all exclusively on the military property. There wasn't any signs of any encampment or anything on that property, on the private property.
Thank you.
Any further questions for Councilmember Wire's office? Okay, seeing and hearing none, thank you so much, Kelly.
Thank you.
All right, next up, Trevor Nagamine for Senator Michelle Kidani's office.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, members of the public. My name is Trevor Nagamine. I'm here on behalf of Senator Michelle Kidani tonight. Unfortunately, I don't have this month's newsletter that I normally pass out. I do apologize for that. However, I'd be happy to take back any questions that anyone has for Senator Kidani.
Members of the board, members of the public, are there any questions for Senator Kidani's office? Please raise your hand. Seeing and hearing none. Thank you, Trevor.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, we have Charles Miller online representing Senator De La Cruz's office. Go ahead, Charles.
Oh, here, Chair. Hi, Chair. Hi, Board. I just have a brief report. Just a couple of bills that got signed by the governor. On June 27th, Governor Green signed the biosecurity bill, which renames the Department of Agriculture to the Department of Agriculture and Biosecurity. It establishes a deputy chair position to oversee the biosecurity effective January 1st, 2027. And allocates $26.6 million this biennium to fund 44 new biosecurity positions. And the governor can now declare biosecurity a statewide emergency. And then SB 933 has to do with the nonprofits to combat federal funding cuts to state nonprofits. $50 million additional $50 million additional. Sorry, I cannot speak. In additional support to nonprofits, $15 million is allocated, and this money would be given to the Office of Community Services. And then SB 222, related to fireworks, extends the legal task force to June 30th, 2030, and requires an annual report to the legislature. And then we've had some concerns about the H2 metal plate going northbound on the H2. Joint materials are being shipped from Missouri and should arrive by the end of the month. And this project is set to be completed in mid-August. And that's all I have. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Charles. Members of the board, members of the public, are there any questions for Senator De La Cruz's office? Please raise your hand. All right. Seeing and hearing none. Thank you so much, Charles.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay, next up, we have Representative Lauren Matsumoto. Is she online or a representative of her office online? Seeing none, we're going to move on to Representative LaChica. Thank you for being here tonight.
Hello, I am here on behalf of Rep. LaChica.
Stella. Hi,
hello.
Stella. Representative is
Oh,
here.
okay.
Thank you.
I'll introduce you in a sec. Thank you.
Good evening, Chair, members, Vice Chair. Congratulations on your election to the board. Trish LaChica, District 37, Mililani-Waipi'o-Melemanu, Core Ridge, NYPO Gentry. I'm going to introduce Stella in a little bit, but just some follow-up to some of the questions raised earlier on fireworks enforcement. Governor did sign House Bill 550, Act 244 into law, which permits the use of drones or unmanned aerial vehicles to be used and to be used to record directly over public property. And this was enforced over the 4th of July by the Department of Law Enforcement. In my conversation with the new director, Mike Lambert, he was happy to share that our area was one of those that they operated the drones in, and we had 0 citations on July 4th. It doesn't mean that, perhaps if it was happening with their neighbors, it could be that if they are firing it off their driveway or their yard, then that's not going to be permissible like evidence for them to be used for investigation. So it has to be on public property, so on the road, in a park, in a parking lot, for them to be able to use that. So most of the citations had come from the west side, is what Director Lambert had informed us. On the Airnasium, I don't know if you guys have seen the kind of the covered gym at Hanalani. They refer to that as also like an Airnasium. So that's what Principal Murphy's kind of envisioning it. It's like that kind of that kind of gym that has the kind of aluminum like covering over it. And then finally on the Mililani Cemetery Road that is in my district, there are 5 different private landowners for that. However, you can check too online. It is the city that maintains the roadway. So it's kind of a very complex coordination. You have to be able to determine which areas and then who's responsible for filling the potholes. At one point, because there was a lot of construction going on with the solar projects over there, because there were huge trucks coming in and out across from the Autoplex, we did get them to temporarily fill the potholes at one point. But it's, as anytime it rains and it's just a temporary solution. So it's not great. And then with that said, I am happy to introduce our summer intern. She is a sophomore at UH Manoa studying public health, and she is also plays for the Wahine UH volleyball team as an outside hitter. So we're very pleased and grateful that we have her for this summer. Her name is Stella Adeyemi, and she's been shadowing us and participating at the neighborhood boards, as well as helping me with various federal policy, tracking legislation, tracking federal budget impacts to Hawaii. So Stella will be providing my update tonight. So go ahead, Stella.
Okay. Good evening and aloha, Chair and members of the board. Thank you for allowing me to join you all tonight for the July 2025 updates. First, we're excited to announce that on June 25th, 2025, Governor Green signed Bill HB 1231, Safe Routes to Schools, or SRTS, now Act 212, into law. This law establishes the largest dedicated funding source for the Safe Routes to School program, which funds the development of safe infrastructure such as crosswalks, bike lanes, and rapid flashing beacons within a 1-mile radius of public schools that would help students walk, bike, and enroll to school safely. Current funding for the Safe Routes to School is at $500,000 each year, and Act 212 is estimated to generate about $5 million each year. Additionally, our office has been meeting actively with Director Sniffen to discuss potential upcoming SRTS projects specifically for our district. Secondly, we would like to invite everyone to an upcoming community engagement meeting hosted by the Neighborhood Commission Office along with the Mililani-Waipi'o and North Shore Neighborhood Boards next week, Wednesday, July 30th from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. at Leilehua High School and virtually. There, they will be discussing a large-scale development proposal, the Kamana Nui Gondola project, which seeks to build a sky gondola spanning a portion of Mount Ka'ala. The proposed route between Kalkona Hua Road and Mount Ka'alas has sparked serious concerns due to lack of community consultation and the absence of an environmental assessment. Your voice matters, and we look forward to joining us then. And additionally, we would want to remind you that the preschool Open Doors is now accepting applications for the 2025-2026 school year. This program helps eligible families with 3 and 4-year-olds afford preschool and give them access to valuable education. With the recent passing of HB 692 or Act 203, federal poverty guidelines have been expanded and the program will be open for 2-year-olds beginning January 2026. Don't wait and act now. The deadline to apply is January 31st, 2026 at 4:30 p.m. If you're interested or have any more questions, please call Patch Hawaii at 808-791-2130 or visit www.patchhawaii.org. And I will drop the links to that as well as the newsletter in the chat. Lastly, we encourage the community to continue to reach out to our office if they have any issues or need assistance within the community. We're currently not in session. However, now is the perfect time to come to us with your legislative ideas or community concerns. Once session starts in mid-January, we only have a small window of around 2 weeks to submit anything. And if we miss that window, we will have to wait. And that is all for our office, and I can note any questions. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you for the invitation to our meeting. Appreciate that. Members, are there any questions for Representative? I see that Josie had her hand up. We'll go Ann and Ed. Go ahead, Josie.
Thank you. Aloha, Ms. LaChica. I want a clarification, please. You stated that they had drones out and they can only issue citations if they are shooting it off the city and county road and not able to if somebody is shooting it off their private property, like driveway or yard. And what is the HRS for this, please?
I can get back to you on the HRS. I don't have it me on hand. It is House Bill 550. And you're correct. It is any, and it's state and city public road, or I mean, public property, any public property. So, they would not be able to use it as, to pursue citations or arrests if it were, if somebody were to be, doing illegal fireworks off of their backyard.
And I'm sorry, do you know why not?
It's just, it's just the law. It's just, I don't know, it's just privacy. And I know there was a lot of changes to, when that bill was going through different committees, but that's the version that they had. Yeah. The final version that was passed.
Okay, mahalo. And in my area, they were shooting, and it was off of city and county roads, and that's near the Mililani Golf Course area. Thank you.
Okay, Anne.
Okay, first I'm going to put this in the form of a question. Were you aware that Hawaii has for years had the highest population of homeless children of any state in the union? That's because we can't discuss issues here, apparently. I have the same question that Josie had. Is this, so illegal fireworks are still illegal. So how is it that if they're shooting off illegal fireworks on their property, they're not prosecutable? I don't understand that.
I think it has to do with how currently like the drones are going
So you're
over your
saying that
property,
in
but
terms of
the
evidence,
drones-
they cannot use video or drones if it's on private property.
it does the law, the bill currently only allows drones to record over public property.
But illegal fireworks are still illegal.
Correct.
Okay.
Ed.
Thank you for being here. I just have one question on Act 310 and just some clarification, SB 933. I hold this bill very close to my heart as I am connected with a lot of nonprofits myself. So there was a story in Civil Beat, I don't know if you caught that, and it was by Civil Beat reporting and a comment by Gary Hooser from Kauai. And the take on that is that this bill may be unconstitutional because it was done in short form. It didn't make the deadline. There was no hearing on this. So, like I said, I appreciate that this bill was passed. And I'm just wondering if this is going to be an impediment on the distribution or even the application, because, you're going to go through all this process, and then lo and behold, somebody turns around and sues. And I don't know. The other question is, does this money have to be encumbered by a certain date? But again, thank you for that bill.
So this bill is the bill that would appropriate $50 million towards Hawaii nonprofits. And you're right, the amendments that were made to the bill didn't get the 3 hearing and floor readings that it would have required. They were looking at a vehicle towards the tail end of session. But as of right now, governor signed it into law, and we're still proceeding with being able to implement that should we convene for a special session this year.
Just a follow-up. I just like to add your summary of SB 933, and I think there's an or. There are nonprofits who were affected by budget cuts, and the or would be for nonprofits who, I guess, anticipated or don't have access to any federal funding that was cut also. Because I understand that the current federal administration has cut quite a bit from different programs. And again, a lot of nonprofits who are dear to me, they don't have access to these funds. So just to add that they are eligible too, right? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Further questions, members of the board, members of the public? Okay, Josie put her hand down. Any other questions? Seeing and hearing none. Thank you so much, Representative.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I see Representative Peruso is online. Welcome.
Good evening, and thank you, Stella, again for mentioning the event at Leilahoa High School on July 30th. We're really excited about welcoming members and community members from all 4 neighborhood boards. And Chair, I really wanted to thank you for being willing to contemplate that larger discussion, because it does have broader implications for all kinds of development projects. So that will be from 6 to 9:30, July 30th. In preparation for that event, this coming Sunday, from 10 to 11:30, the Kupa'a Ka'ala Alliance is having a sign waving on the Waimea side of the Haleiwa bypass. And that's going to be from 10 to 11:30 to raise awareness of this project and to get more community support for really reconsideration of the approval of the minor CUP and asking for a major CUP and a full EIS. I also wanted to add, I appreciate the questions about SB 933. On Tuesday, a Good Government Caucus is going to be having a meeting, basically a convening, a listening session at the Capitol in 325, but also via Zoom. And that's going to be essentially a community check-in. So the caucus will be asking the community about their priorities with respect to good governance in the coming session. We'll be talking about open government, public access, transparency, campaign finance reform, ethics, and elections. And I think that we have a lot of issues still before us that require our attention. So we'll be talking about those, and we hope to see folks there. And I think that, just kind of as a summary of what I've been doing during the interim, again, the interim is a time where we revisit legislation that's passed, look at the effectiveness of implementation, and look forward to the coming session. And in this interim, a possible special session. So again, now that the OBBBA has passed, we're becoming more fully aware of the significant impacts, even if they will be not in effect until December 2026, thinking about how we can be proactive in terms of the revenue necessary to backfill those shortfalls if necessary, and then also thinking about to Medicaid and SNAP, and then also thinking about the ways in which we'd like to address other aspects of the implications of that bill. We're looking at like rising energy costs, rising electricity rates as a result of that federal legislation. So what can we do here in Hawaii to mitigate the damage of that approach? So I am happy to answer any questions, and really happy to see a new board in action, and congratulations, Chair.
Mahalo. Members of the board, members of the public, are there any questions for Representative Peruso? Please raise your hand. Daniel. Please state your name for the record again and answer your question.
My name is Daniel Gabriel. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Board. Thank you, Rep. I'm just hearing mixed numbers on the time of this meeting. Is it 6 or is it 6:30?
So it's 6:30. I'm happy to announce that in the announcements section of this agenda.
Sorry about that. I have posted 6 o'clock, so I'll change my posting.
Yeah, and I will clarify that in the announcements section, folks. Don't worry. Any other questions for Representative Peruso? Okay, seeing and hearing none. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, speaking of, we're going to go into announcements. So unfortunately, there was no chair's report because we had a chair pro tem. So I'm going to use this opportunity for the announcements. As a friendly reminder, we discussed this at the previous meeting. There was a request from North Shore Neighborhood Board Chair Kathleen Pahinui to have a multi-board special meeting regarding the gondola proposal, development project in the North Shore area on Mount Ka'ala. I gave Rachel information that was distributed to members of this board. So please contact me or Rachel if you did not receive it. I'm happy to send it again. We did agree to a special meeting, multi-board agenda that will consist of North Shore Neighborhood Board 27, Wahiawa Neighborhood Board number 26, our board number 25, Mililani-Waipi'o-Melemanu Valley Board number 35. This is a historical event. There has been no 4-board meeting in the Neighborhood Commission office history. So we will have much supportive staffing from the NCO. This meeting will be held next Wednesday, July 30th, Lelehua High School cafeteria in Wahiawa. It will begin at 6:30. It will end at 9:30. Our board specifically requested a hybrid link. This meeting will also be hybrid, so you can tune in on WebEx. Because it is a special board meeting, if you are absent from the special meeting, it will not count against your 3 absences of regular meetings for this year. So if you have a time conflict, or if this subject matter is for some reason not of importance to you and you have some other issue to deal with at home, that is fine. This will not count against you in your attendance record. North Shore Neighborhood Board Chair Kathleen Pahinui invited the DPP to make a presentation. They respectfully declined since the matter is still before them in terms of the permitting. The North Shore Neighborhood Board Chair Pahinui also invited the developer to present. The developer declined. So in board business, there will be a 10-minute presentation of the Kamananui project presentation. That presentation will be offered by Mr. Gil Revere, Raquel Achu, apologies for the missaying, and Maka Kassan Fisher. They will make that presentation for 10 minutes, followed by a second presentation on potential state house legislation prohibiting passenger ropeways on mountain lands by Representative Sean Quinlan, who is the representative of the North Shore area. So I believe he is considering proposing that for the upcoming session. Finally, there will be an introduction of a resolution of the Kamananui project from North Shore Neighborhood Board number 27, Chair Kathleen Pahinui. They will adopt that resolution. We will be provided a copy of that resolution. I will distribute that tomorrow for all of you because I got a lot of confused members asking if the special meeting was tonight. I really wanted to clear the deck between board business tonight and next week. I will distribute the resolution and I will contact you folks and I want to hear your personal feedback on whether you'd like to adopt. We will have those conversations independently. There is no pressure on us to adopt that resolution at that special meeting. If we choose to adopt a resolution, or if we'd like to amend that resolution as our own, we can do that at a future meeting at regular business for our board, okay? So there's no real pressure, but I will distribute that to all of you. And I would like to hear from each one of you on your individual, points of view on this matter, okay? So we will send out the agenda tomorrow. We will send out the resolution tomorrow. And I believe in an email last month, we sent out the project details that are publicly available online. That is my announcement for the special meeting. And we will have another regular board meeting on August 27, 2025. I typically don't ask for questions, but because of the unusualness of having the special board meeting, are there any questions on that? Okay. All right. Oh, sorry, Josie, I see that your hand is up.
Mahalo. Will we be allowed to give statements at that meeting, Or are we to give statements and send them to you where it will be all listed and presented to them? Or is it only questions?
That is a very good question, and I will ask the NCO secretary tomorrow, and Rachel will follow up to me. Any other questions for this on this special meeting matter? Okay. Final announcement is that this is broadcasted on Olelo Channel 49 every second Thursday and Olelo Channel 54 every first and third Saturday at 9 a.m. With that, members, it is 9:39 and our initial board meeting is adjourned. See you all next Wednesday.